round of the F4 UAE Championship 2022, certified by the FIA. I'm Jake Sanson. Beside me is Chris Milbourne, and once again we are going to be set for a fantastic race battle. 31 cars going wheel to wheel around the Dubai Autodrome circuit with an amazing quantity of caliber in this field. There is a massive grid and there is a massive talent pool to go battling with as well. We will see some great battles from the front end of the grid to see if Rafael Kamara can sew up another race victory just as he did yesterday evening.
And he's certainly going to try and put on a clinic here as let's bring up the starting order here as Rafael Kamara starts on the front row of the grid with Aidan Neate alongside for company. Then Luke Browning, who a lot in the comment section, and including Jake, thinks that we might have a surprise victor here in race 3, and it might be Luke Browning. Then we have alongside him is Charlie Wirtz. He is the winner of race 2 earlier today in round 3. Christian Ho will share the third row of the grid with Tony Stenshorn, with Tanapul Inthravavasak behind with Andrea Kimi Antonelli alongside for company on row number 4. Then it's Alex Dunn with Nikita Bedrin rounding out the top 10. Now the Russian driver out there is going to be one to watch, as is Andrea and of course Tanapul Inthravavasak, who not too long ago was our championship leader.
Yes, indeed. Well, there's a few drivers to watch out for in this race in particular. You've got Rafael Kamara from the pole position, who's a race winner, of course. Aidan Neate from second on the grid, who has been so close to a race victory he can almost taste the spoils of the Rosewater on the top of the podium. Luke Browning has come in as a bit of a whirling dervish to upset the apple cart and rock the establishment as the first true driver to be on pace with the Premers in time qualifying. Although, having said that, Christian Ho is lining up 5th position on the grid for his first race weekend in F4 UAE as well. And he's not been racing in cars very long at all. So let's keep an eye on that. And Christian Ho in particular has put on a stellar job in qualifying. It's no wonder he's part of the Sauber Racing Driver Academy. So we'll have to watch out for him. Martinius Stenshorn, the fabulous Norwegian for the 3Y Technology UAE car. I was very good enough to have lunch with the team boss Guillaume over at 3Y, and I have to say they are talking no end of praise around young Martinius Stenshorn in UAE F4. Tanapul Inthravavasak and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, the man who came bursting out of the blocks at Yas Marina and put on some spectacular performances. His car has been repaired, ready for the start of race 3. He is in position. He will not miss this one. He is going to be battling tooth and nail for every single apex around this course, and he will want vengeance after finishing up in the barriers in race 2. And then you have Alex Dunn and Nikita Bedrin. Both will try and fight their way forward. And then the rest of the field will make up of Taylor Barnard and Suleiman Zanfari on row 6, Valerio Vinicella and Nikhil Bora on row 7, Ivan Dominguez and Ricardo Eschotto, Brandon Badoa and Anshul Gandhi, Joseph Loke and Miron Bingazov from Sohail Shah and Michael Shin, Vladislav Ryabov and Jamie Day from Victoria Blokina and Jonas Reed, Robert Dehaan, Jem Birampati, Yash Aradia, Jeff McKells and Ismail Ahmed, who will be battling away around this Dubai Autodrome circuit. 31 cars, we're away on the green flag lap.
And Jake, you know what I've noticed? We have no gaps in the field, so you know what that means. The 45 of Martinius Stenshorn and the Andrea Kimi Antonelli car, the number 99, the team have done an amazing job to get those cars back up and running, because remember, the reason we ended our last race, that wasn't the red flag situation, it was actually the previous safety car reason. Those two cars essentially look like we were never going to see them race again. Both teams have done an absolute phenomenal job of getting both those cars up and running again. A huge shout out to both of the teams there, of course, and of course the other team members as well, because we had quite a nasty red flag incident during the second race of the weekend earlier today, and I see that those drivers are also on track. So again, these guys here, the mechanics, everything like that, they have done an incredible turnaround here. It is absolutely phenomenal to get these F4 cars back and to still have 31 cars on the grid.
Yeah, they certainly have been spectacular. It's a credit to everybody that we've got not just Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Martinius Stenshorn and Taylor Barnard back out there, but also Ismail Ahmed, Victoria Blokina and Anshul Gandhi, who were all involved in the incidents earlier on. We have a full capacity 31 car grid as we watch the young new boy Yash Aradia making his way around in the Mumbai Falcons car. There he is as he tries to form up and get his tyres and brakes up to temperature in behind Jem Birampati. But it will be a fascinating battle as the cars make their way around on this green flag lap. There's the high-tech in third position. Luke Browning, the man who has split the quartet of Prema cars. Certainly in qualifying 1 he was there, and he's there again, of course, in Q2 to be there in third position. If he gets a good start, then none of those Prema cars are going to see which way he went.
It's going to be an interesting one from the start as well, because of course Jake says that Luke Browning, and a few in the comments as well, have said that that is the wild card for this race here. So let's see what Luke Browning could do from the second row of the grid. He was very fast in race 1 yesterday, but unfortunately he was penalised towards the end of the race for being out of position during the start, and that caused him to drop out of a podium finishing position. He was up there, but of course he treated it like an absolute gentleman. He was speaking to Charlie Wirtz before the podium presentation as well. There was no bad blood between the two of them. They both mutually agreed that one was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they agreed to go their separate ways, which is great to see the maturity here of the driver. So it looks like the formation lap is about to be completed here for all the 31 cars. They will once again line up in their grid positions. There, of course, are the two Prema cars out in front, Rafael Kamara and Aidan Neate. Of course, Aidan Neate looking for his first win here. It's hard to believe that we've gone through 10 races already, and Aidan Neate, who's been incredibly consistent, has not yet won a race here. We've seen him a number of times on the podium. He just hasn't got that all-important win, and this could be the race that he does it. But he's going to have to fend off Rafael Kamara racing down towards turn 1 here for the first time in race 3 of the weekend.
Well, there are 10 races done. 10 to go. We are exactly halfway through the F4 UAE Championship 2022. It's time for a few drivers to step up the attack and go for a title push. In terms of the point standings coming into this one, Charlie Wirtz is now the championship leader on 127. Aidan Neate is up to second on 112. James Wharton and Taz Indefivazak both have 110, sorry. Then Andrea Kimi Antonelli on 95, Nikita Bedrin on 87, Taylor Barnard on 55, and Rafael Kamara on 54. So, it is going to be an absolutely fascinating battle. And who is going to be the championship leader at the end of this? Charlie Wirtz, Aidan Neate, or even Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He's going to be right up in the high end of the field. So it could be very interesting indeed. Rafael Kamara, pole position. Aidan Neate, second place. Browning, Wirtz, Ho, Stenshorn, Indefivazak, Antonelli, Dunn, Bedrin, Barnard and Zanfari. The lights are coming on and we're going to go racing. Ready? And we're underway! A fantastic start at the Dubai Autodrome, and it's going to be 3 wide as they go down the straight. Browning's got a flyer into second position, and he tucks in behind the pole sitter Rafael Kamara. So Browning is riding behind Kamara. Neate does not get a terrific start. He's going to battle with Charlie Wirtz to the first corner. Wirtz might go right round the outside. A little bit of a drift from Browning, but he holds second position through turn 1. As out in front, Rafael Kamara of Brazil has an absolute flyer of a start. No issues at all from him as they work their way through, and up to 5th position, Christian Ho is still there hustling Aidan Neate as they go through again. So an absolutely terrific battle from the competitors as they come through, but it is Rafael Kamara in front of Luke Browning. Christian Ho is trying to hustle Aidan Neate as they go through. Oh, there's contact further back. 2 cars, big shunt, and 2 cars have got all sorts of damage to them. So let's see who that, it's one of the MP Motorsport cars that's involved in that one. And I couldn't see who the other car was. It might have been one of the high-techs. So 2 cars in trouble, safety car straight away.
Safety car is out here on the very first lap. We just made it back cleanly through Sector 1 for the first time, but unfortunately we are now behind the safety car, and that is the 55 car. Now the good news is the driver is getting out. The 55 is Miran Pingasov. Unfortunately, he was in 21st position. But what is the second car that was collected during that? Now, that's through turn 5 by the looks of it. Now, we have to see who that is there, but the good news is, as we said, Miran Pingasov has got out of the car under his own power, which is always great to see, and we're behind the safety car here for the first time. It's Rafael Kamara from Luke Browning. He got a fantastic start at the beginning to slot himself in between the 2 teammates there, and he is in second position. As we are now behind the safety car, working our way towards the bowl complex. Probably not the best way we wanted to start race 3 here, but unfortunately it was bound to happen. So we are going to quickly, I think we're going to quickly swap headphones, Jake, because I think we've got a little bit of a mix-up here, haven't we? Yes, we do. So let's just do that.
So Michael Shin is the driver that got involved in that one. So Michael Shin is the driver in trouble. Getting involved in the accident there. Let's have a look at it. So look, Michael Shin flying over the top of his competitor, Miran Pingasov, not in the position they wanted to be in at the start of the race at all.
Certainly not, and it's incredible how he just cleanly took off that rear spoiler and nothing else as well. But there we go, we found out who the other car in question is. Now, we haven't seen Michael Shin out of the car yet, but I can assure you that the marshals are on the scene and extracting the two cars, because as always they are rather quick here at the Dubai Autodrome. So it's Rafael Kamara who leads from Luke Browning, and Charlie Wirtz is in third position. There's the recovery team on site to pick up the 55 of the Miron Pingastov car. That's down now shown in 30th position. Of course, we found out the other one is Michael Shin. Now, this is sort of where the accident has happened, so we should see a shot of the two cars. As you said, we've not seen Michael Shin anywhere, as the recovery is not there, so it will be a different corner that we're at now. No, there it is. It's just behind the greenery. There it is, of course. Yes, it is. So that presumably means Michael Shin is off to the right somewhere, because no way that car has got going again under its own power. As we continue through, there's a little bit of debris. I think that's the front splitter. The front spoiler is there on the left-hand side, on the apex of the corner, just on the inside there as well. So that's going to have to be cleared up. Unless it's left there, then unfortunately that could cause a bit of an issue for the drivers, who may choose to go a little bit deep into that corner. So the safety car is out in front as the drivers keep heating their tyres. Great start from Luke Browning.
Yeah, that was a bit of a launch off the line, wasn't it? So Luke Browning has got himself right into the firing line. Rafael Kamara is your leader, though, from Luke Browning. Charlie Wirtz, championship leader, still right up in the firing line, as the recovery is doing an absolutely phenomenal job at this moment in time. So excellent stuff. Rafael Kamara, Luke Browning and Charlie Wirtz having a terrific run at the front end of the field, but Charlie Wirtz has come into this 11th race of the season as the championship leader off the back of his first race win. And let's not forget that Charlie Wirtz has been Mr. Consistency all the way through the season. He has not failed to score points in any of the 10 races so far this year. That is why he's leading the championship, because his consistency has been stronger than anybody else's. So now Rafael Kamara is your race leader. He has climbed to 8th place in the point standings on 54, just 1 point behind Taylor Barnard and a handful more behind Nikita Bedrin. So the recovery crews have gone to work. Miron Pingastov and Michael Shin's cars have now been extracted from the scene of that incident, and 29 cars are still running. Incident between Michael Shin and Miron Pingastov is of course under investigation, and the safety car is still out for at least one more lap. So let's talk you through the order in detail. Rafael Kamara, then Luke Browning, Charlie Wirtz, Aidan Neat, Christian Ho and Tazanabal in the Vivazak. Martinez Stenshorn is in P7, then Andrea Kimi Antonelli is in 8th, in front of the two PHM twins of Taylor Barnard and Nikita Bedrin. Alex Dunn is 11th in front of Suleiman Zanfari, then Valeria Renicella and Nikhil Bora. Brando Badou has done well on the opening lap. He's climbed his way up to 15th place. Ivan Dominguez is in front of Joseph Loke, and then Ricardo Escotto from Sohail Shah and Vladislav Ryabov. Anshul Gandhi's done a good job on the opening lap to 21st from Jonas Reed and the other young Indian charge, Yash Aradhya, who has come up to 23rd. And then it is Victoria Blokina in front of Robert Dehaan, and then Jem Bhakti in front of Jeff Makiels, Jamie Day and Ismail Ahmed. So they will continue to battle away. Okay, so let's have a look at the race start once again, because that'll be worth having a look at, because we had a bit of a sluggish start from Aidan Neat. Watch on the left. Aidan Neat, a little bit of wheel spin as he gets off the line, and that's enough for Charlie Wirtz to get past and alongside. Browning has gone with Kamara, so he just tucks in behind him, and as they move over to the right-hand side, the inside of the circuit, they tuck up towards the first corner, and watch, everybody from second, third and fourth all miss their braking points. They all get a little bit wide there, and Christian Ho was very nearly through into fourth position. So a great performance so far from the young Singaporean in P5, because this is only his third race in the F4 UAE Championship. Back to live pictures, and Rafael Kamara in front of Luke Browning, Charlie Wirtz, Aidan Neat and the ever impressive Christian Ho.
It's going to be a fantastic race once we get this going again. Now, I wonder if we can get a restart, though, as well, of the incident that we saw, because we saw it in the back shot working our way through. And, of course, it happened in the very first sector of the track as well. It was through turns 4 and 5 as we continue behind the safety car. The lights are still on, so that means we're not going racing this time around, and you can clearly see that both recovery trucks are still on the exit of turn 5 by the looks of it. So we're not going to go racing this time around until those two car recoveries have been moved off. And of course this is for safety reasons, because we can't go racing at full speed when there's recovery vehicles on track. As much as we'd like to, the cars have been moved. It is down to safety, because safety is priority, and it's always better to be safe rather than sorry. So working our way behind the safety car again, Jake here, and race 3 of the Formula 4 UAE Championship. Unfortunately, we're losing a lot of time as well. We've almost lost 10 minutes already behind the safety car for this cleanup, which means we'll have, give or take, around 15 minutes of racing, possibly less, here for our third race.
Well, the drivers will still be able to make good use of every opportunity they have out on the circuit. Hello to all those of you who are watching, however you are watching from, whether you are from the F4 UAE Championship official page or whether on the Mumbai Falcons page as well. Great to have your company. Hope you're enjoying the racing. But Rafael Kamara, Luke Browning, Charlie Wirtz is the order at the moment from Aidan Neate, Christian Ho, Tazin Vivazak, Martinius Stenshorn, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Taylor Barnard and Nikita Bedrin.
So we continue our way through now as you just saw the recovery vehicles actually going behind the wall. So there's a high chance that we might actually go green this time round. And here's a replay of the incident.
Oh, now that's interesting. There was a trip up from one of the Mumbai Falcons cars. I guess that was Sohail Shah connected with Michael Shin, and Shin had nowhere to go but into the side of Miron Pingazov's car. So that's how that incident actually started. And that was very unfortunate indeed. Great to get that second view of it because that gives us a little bit more information. But it looked as though a little bit of a contretemps between Sohail Shah and Michael Shin. And poor Michael Shin was just spat out of it. And Miron Pingazov was an innocent victim with nowhere to go but to be hit into.
It also looks like Michael Shin may have come in too hot in that corner as well and just not brake. He missed his braking point completely because he was coming in high and fast there as well, and unfortunately hit them on my Falcons car as well. And as Jake said, he collected Pingazov, who had nothing to do really. He couldn't take any avoiding action. He was on his own line, and unfortunately Michael Shin just swept across him.
Yeah, this is the thing. On the first couple of corners of a race, you are absolutely determined. The start is so important. If you can pick off 3 or 4 cars in the first few corners, then it really does change the momentum of your race. It makes you more confident. It gives you more to play with. You can feel what the car is doing a lot more, and it looks to me as though they're backing the pack up. I think the safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap, in which case we will go racing once again. Kamara is backing them up, and he really wants his teammates to come and play with him rather than Luke Browning, because he knows that Luke Browning is going to be a real thorn in the side here. So Rafael Kamara is backing them up, and it would look to me as though the safety car is going to come in. We haven't had the message on the timing screen, but it looks to me as though Rafael Kamara's gone for it. He's probably seen the lights go out on the safety car better than we have. So through they come, and Kamara has dropped the hammer. So as they come through this time, I think we're going to get ourselves under racing conditions once again with 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Yes, safety car's peeled in, so they obviously saw the lights go out on it. Here we go, green, and it's Kamara from Browning, Wirtz, Neate, Ho, into Vivazak and Stenshorn. And we are in for an absolute battle royale as they come down towards turn 1. Looks like an interesting scrap going on further back between Bedrin and Dunn as they come up towards turn 1. A couple of drivers going for a move or two. Christian Ho's already started to get hungry behind Aidan Neate, and Alex Dunn has a little bit of a feather on the throttle to try and make his bid on the inside of Nikita Bedrin. Thinks better of it, but there are battles around the circuit, and whoops, that's one of the 3 wide cars. That'll be the 47 of Nikhil Bora trying to come around the outside of Valerio Venicella. It doesn't quite work out, so he has to back out of it. And Rafael Kamara still leads with a couple of car lengths now on Browning, Wirtz and Neate.
Before we went through turn 14 there, Luke Browning was all over the back of Rafael Kamara and looked to have got the jump on him, or at least stick with him for that, such as we saw one car run wide there through turn 9 by the looks of it. It is Luke Browning's now having to drop back ever so slightly because, of course, now he has to play defensive and keep Charlie Wirtz behind him. And, of course, Aidan Neate is in close proximity as well, which is now resulting in Luke Browning losing points, losing positions in him. And here comes Charlie Wirtz. He's going to go side by side a long way round, though, through turn 10. Luke Browning shuts the door on him, but Charlie Wirtz has the inside line now for the next corner. He's going to squeeze him out as far as he dares. A little bit of contact there, and Charlie Wirtz looks like he's got through, going through turn 11 this time round. Let's see what happens if we do got 1-2. Yes, we do, but is that another? No, that's Aidan Neate coming around the outside. Thought it was Rafael Kamara, but Aidan Neate's going to capitalise on as well. He might take second away here from Charlie Wirtz and Luke Browning, but Browning is sticking with them now. The run down towards the bowl complex. Luke Browning is not doing well. He's being forced out of the line here.
So now Aidan Neate is going to make a bid on his teammate, and there's not a lot Charlie Wirtz can do. He has to let him go. So Aidan Neate is going to get his move on the inside into turn 12. into turn 14, sorry, he gets the move, and up the inside, Browning is going to try and sweep alongside Wirtz. He's going to try and shut the door as well for Christian Ho. All this is a fairy tale for Rafael Kamara, because Kamara now has the move. Browning is into third place now on the inside of Charlie Wirtz, as Taz Interfuvazak has made his bid on Christian Ho. Wirtz goes out wide. It's going to be 3 wide as they come off the turn. Look at Christian Ho as he comes down the straight. Christian Ho is going to have Interfuvazak and Wirtz to his right, to his left, sorry. And up to the lead of the race has come Kamara, up to second has come Neat, up to third has come Browning, and Christian Ho gets past them all. Brilliant racing from the Singaporean. Christian Ho has come through into 4th position ahead of Interfuvazak and Wirtz.
How he got on the brakes there, we will never know. No luck up whatsoever, and it looked like that was a very late lunge there. A fantastic move for Christian Ho to move himself into 4th position, now tucked up behind Luke Browning would be now, wouldn't it? Yes, it would, because Aidan Neat's up in a 2nd position, and Rafael Kamara, well, he's seen what's going on in the background, and he's absolutely loving what he's seeing back there, because he's extended his lead now to 2.2 seconds. Back to Lucas Browning. A little bit of debris contact there coming off the left-hand side of one of the cars. Actually, no, it would be the right-hand side, wouldn't it, Jake? Because our screens are here are reversed.
Yeah.
That was through turn 8.
Not sure what the issue was there, or whether that bit of debris had already came off the car, or whether it was kicking up something else. Meanwhile, we've got Andrea Kimi Antonelli trying to get past Taylor Barnard. That's sounding like it was in their karting days. They were always on the racetrack together back then. So they battle away again together. Nikita Bedrin in 10th, Dunn, Zanfari, Renicella, Bora, Dominguez, Badua, Loke, Escoto and Vladislav Ryabov. But Christian Ho is doing a terrific job here in 4th position. This is an amazing drive as Andrea Kimi Antonelli finally gets his man past the inside of Nikita Bedrin. Oh, and off the road. Now, who was that? That looked to me like Valerio Renicella, I think, going out wide. So a bit of an issue there. Either that or it was Nikhil Bora. Couldn't quite make it out, but certainly at that sort of end of the grid at least. Christian Ho is trying to defend from Charlie Wirtz. Wirtz is still keeping it on the island, staying out of trouble. That's how Wirtz is going to take this lead in the championship. He already has the lead of the championship for the moment, but he wants to keep it. Christian Ho is swarming around all over the place as Charlie Wirtz comes around the outside in the final bend. What a move from Charlie Wirtz! Absolutely spectacular. Fine, you protect the inside line. I can't have you on the apex. I'll just get you on the switcheroo. And Charlie Wirtz is through. Interfuvazak is now going to have his run on Christian Ho.
I can guarantee you he watched the Golf Radical race, watched what Ian Loggy did around the outside of George King yesterday, because that's the exact same move Ian Loggy did. It's surprising when talking to Ian Loggy the amount of grip that's actually on the outside of turn 16. But if you do it more than once, then it becomes an issue. But a fantastic lunge there from Charlie Wirtz to stick around the outside. Of course, that is the long way round and get the move stuck. That puts him into 4th position behind Luke Browning. But now the gap up front, 2.1 seconds to Rafael Kamara, to Aidan Neat, and it's a further 1.5 seconds back to Luke Browning.
Oh, Antonelli's gone clean off the road there, trying to stay out of trouble. He manages to get back on the road there, but Antonelli is not finding things as easy going as he found it in Yas Marina. That circuit really seemed to suit him at the Dubai Autodrome. He's struggling. Now, was that an airborne Nikita Bedrin coming off the curb? I think the front end of the car just ended up with 2 wheels in the air and 2 on the deck as we watch Wirtz, Ho, and then behind is Stenshorn, side by side with Interfuvazak. Stenshorn's going to make a late bid on the inside of Interfuvazak, and there's going to be battles further back. Side by side with Antonelli, and they both drift off the road. That's Antonelli and Zanfari. So Zanfari trying to get past Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and the Moroccan not quite able to make the move stick there. Meanwhile, we've got Alex Dunn trying to work his way further forward. He's got the moves on Nikita Bedrin. So Alex Dunn holding on to the position. A lot of the big names in this field are really struggling for pace, whether it's something to do with the tyres on the restart or whatever, or has there been a change in temperature? Has it gone up a little bit? That could all play a part. And the drivers are having to do their very best to try and cope with it. As round the outside, that is the feisty Suleiman Zanfari going the long way round on Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Beautiful move from Suleiman Zanfari. Excellent work from the Moroccan. That was absolutely terrific. He really has been dialing up the speed every race, and that will be a very satisfying overtake.
And for a stellar performance at Yas, Antonelli is really struggling here at the Autodrome. Of course, missed round 2, but back again for round 3, but just hasn't been able to replicate the success he had at Yas a couple of weeks ago, as Rafael Kamara was briefly the fast man across the line. The gap has come down now up front to 1.9 seconds, as it looks like Antonelli is not letting Zanfari through that easily, because he's fighting back through turn 1, as Zanfari has to take off to the runoff area, and he's got back through for now. And look who's coming up behind him as well. Is that Rinicelli that's coming with them, or is that Bedrin?
That is Bora. Nikhil Bora is gone with him in the 3Y technology car. But great reactions from Andrea Kimi Antonelli, who managed to get back. Zanfari's going straight back for him. Silliman Zanfari absolutely determined. This is almost personal now for Silliman Zanfari. He is absolutely resolute. I am not going to be beaten by a Prema again. He is absolutely on it like a car bonnet at the moment. And Antonelli's still in front of Zanfari, but Zanfari definitely has a point to prove in this race. And Nikhil Bora just sat there watching behind them, is drinking it all in, waiting for his moment. Now, Stenshorn trying to shake off the PHM cars of Taylor Barnard and Nikita Bedrin. Barnard's going to go the long way round on the outside of the hairpin. He's going to hold it, and that will do. Taylor Barnard gets through. There's plenty of grip on that outside hairpin. Several drivers have figured out that that's the way to go. If they're protecting the inside line, you can make the bid. And now Bedrin's going to make the same move on Stenshorn on the inside line now through 12. Stenshorn has to run wide. There's nowhere for him to go. He gets back on just before Alex Dunn comes around. And check out this battle further back. There's all sorts of great racing happening here. We've got Zanfari, Bora, Dominguez, and behind them is Badua. So some great tussles in this race, and already some sensational battles. As up the inside, Zanfari almost losing the ground. Oh, 2 cars off the road and one slowing. I think there must have been a little bit of a banging of wheels there. Couldn't see who that was, as Alex Dunn is going to lose the position to one of the PHMs. That is going to be Bedrin. So Barnard, I think it is, has ended up dropping down the order. Yeah, it's Taylor Barnard who is coming into the pits, I think. So Taylor Barnard has had an issue, and that's not for the first time today either. Aidan Neat sets the new fastest lap as he starts to chip away at his teammate Rafael Kamara. Joseph Loke is battling towards us as they come down the straight with Escotto, Ryabov, Sohail Shah and Jamie Day. There is Yasharajia. He's battling away with Jembidon Bhakti into the first corner. So they will continue to battle away. And this is the new boy, Yasharajia, actually running in front of Jembidon Bhakti, who has been here since day one. And that shows you the progress of Yasharajia. There is Taylor Barnard. His car has stopped, and he is on the entry to the pit lane. Now, that is a potential problem. But look how quickly Aidan Neat has started to reel in Kamara, as Charlie Wirtz has reined in on the parade of Luke Browning down the back straight. Browning is going to have to go defensive here, but Charlie Wirtz can go the long way round. So they will come to the hairpin. And we're looking back as well to see how the battle is going to shape up between Stenshorn and Rinicella. Stenshorn will dive up the inside line. Did Browning hold on to third position in front of Charlie Wirtz, as we now look at Vladislav Ryabov battling away with Joseph Loke. And no, Wirtz has got through, but Browning's going to come straight back on the retaliation into the hairpin, and there's not a lot of room to play with. Wirtz goes off on the curb, but can he hold it alongside Browning? Browning is still there. And is Browning going to be in front? They're still going to be side by side, and Wirtz is going to take the inside line. But can Browning sustain this on the exit? Browning is going to try and get the switchback maneuver up in the hairpin. He has to back out. Wirtz is going to hold it to the inside of the next apex. But can Browning make his own move as he comes through once again? Charlie Wirtz is going to defend. Browning might try the Ian Loggy maneuver here, right round the outside. Wirtz chops the car across and holds the inside line of the apex, but Browning is all over him, and there's a little bit of debris that goes kicking up in the air. Now, I don't know whether that came off a high-tech or whether that came off one of the other cars and it's just been spat up in the air. But now we're going to have to see, because Christian Ho is gaining ground on both of these guys if they're not careful. Ho's going to get past them both. Browning commits around the outside, but Wirtz kicks the car out. So it is 1-2-3 for Prema, but now Browning and Christian Ho are going to be threatening for the move. And Intra Vivazak is not far away either, the young Thai star. So this could be very interesting. Meanwhile, Kamara has lost his massive lead over Aidan Neat, and Aidan Neat is suddenly all over the back of him.
Now, it's interesting, there's double yellows being waved at turn 15. That will be for Taylor Barnard's car that has actually stopped in the entrance of pit lane. I presume that it was on the left-hand side of the track, but it is on the right-hand side. There also appears to be another car that stopped through turn 2 by the looks of it, which is quite a strange one. Not sure who that could be, actually, because it looks like everyone's come through. So we'll have to see if we can figure out who that is that may have stopped in turn 2. But here is the battle for third position. Charlie Vert seems to have got the better of Luke Browning for now as Christian Ho tumbles down to 5th position. Here is the race lead, though, between...
Aiden Neat's got through!
He has as well. That's the 57. Where has Aiden Neat found all this power from? Because he was 2 seconds adrift 3 to 4 laps to go. He was clawing back about 0.3 of a second every time. Rafael Kamara may have made a mistake somewhere on track, and that's allowed Aiden Neat to massively gain ground and squeeze on through. And now they're coming to double yellow, so Rafael Kamara is going to have to back out because he cannot overtake going through turn 15.
It's the 11th race of the season. Aiden Neat has been the bridesmaid, but never the bride in F4 UAE Championship races so far, as Taylor Barnard walks past our commentary box position to come back to the pits. But there is a genuine chance now that Aiden Neat can get this done. It is so close. Now, they're going to come across the line with about a second to go. So I think this is going to be 2 laps of racing, not 1 lap of racing, unless these two end up having a really scrappy lap. So Aiden Neat is pushing the envelope here. He may have to do 2 laps of this defensive driving from Rafael Kamara, but he could finally be the last man in the Prema team to take a race victory, because of course we've witnessed Andrea Kimi Antonelli doing it, we've seen James Wharton do it, we've seen Rafael Kamara do it, earlier on today we saw Charlie Verts do it. The only member of the team that hadn't got a race win was Aiden Neat. He's been ever consistent and ever present up in the front 3, but he's not yet had the opportunity to grab that race victory. Now he is in the lead ahead of Rafael Kamara, and with time ticking down, it might just be the moment for young Aiden Neat. Is this finally going to be it?
It could be it, but Rafael Kamara is not going to let it be easy, that's for sure. He's 0.4 of a second, and he's glued to the rear bumper now as we work our way down towards turn 10. Is Rafael Kamara going to look on the inside, or is he going to allow Aiden Neat? No, he's not. He's going to look on the inside, but Aiden Neat shuts the door pretty much immediately there to cover up the inside line. But is Rafael Kamara going to look to the left? Not quite. He's going to stay behind him as we work through turn 11. Now he's got a few more opportunities. He can do it up by the hairpin towards the UP building up to about turn 12, and that's where we are now. But again, Rafael Kamara stays behind him for the time being, and he's getting closer and closer here. We've got half an F4 length between the two cars here. Rafael Kamara looks again to the inside, but thinks better of it. Picks up the toe now. This is a long run down towards turn 14. Is he going to try around the outside? Probably not the best idea. He's going to have to make a move on the inside, but he has to remember there are double yellows at the next corner after this one here, Jake.
This is going to be so tight to the line. I think we're going to have a couple of seconds in hand, so the racing is going to be done as Jamie Day blasts up the inside line and picks off Joseph Loke. They're going to come through the final corner, and this is going to be touch and go as to whether the checkered flag will come out here. It might just do so, or are we going to get another lap? We are going to get another lap. The last lap board is out, so they are going to have one more lap to go. This is it. Rafael Kamara will never have been more determined to get past anybody, and it's his own teammate. One more lap of racing, and Aiden Neat has got to try and fend off from Kamara, who dives. They've got to share the same bit of racetrack. They bang wheels, and Kamara gets through. Kamara slices up the inside of his teammate Aiden Neat on the last lap in race 3, round 3 at Dubai.
Now that was incredible how they both got through scot-free. Luckily enough, they touched wheels exactly at the right point not to cause the other to spin out. Okay, probably not the best idea to do that to your teammate, so the team debriefing off this race is going to be quite a tough one between these two, but Aiden Neat has lost out to Rafael Kamara, who dived down the inside through turn 1. Now Aiden Neat is coming through turn 9. He's going to try on the back straight away to pick up the toe and see if he can do the exact same move Rafael Kamara did to him going into turn 10. He's going to have to sneak up on the inside. Here we go. Down towards turn 10. Aiden needs to stick with him. There's a car length separate the two of them now as they work their way slightly uphill. Now towards the 10th corner they go. Aiden Neat needs to flank to the inside, and Rafael Kamara needs to do it. Aiden Neat is going to go for it. Not quite. He's going to try and get the switch back here. Rafael Kamara runs a little bit wide through that corner, and it's allowed Aiden Neat to catch up through turn 11. And here we go. We've only got a handful of corners to go. He can try and do it through turn 12. He can try and do it through turn 14 and turn 16, Jake.
Look at Aiden Neat. He's going to go long on the brakes as Kamara covers the inside line. He'll get the switch back and the faster line out of the turn. This is all going to come down to where Kamara places the car. He's going to send him round the long way, but Aiden Neat might be able to use the outside line to his advantage. Kamara covers the inside, covers, so Aiden goes right. Can he hold it? Right round the outside. If he can keep it, he's not going to be able to get the overtake because they've got yellow flags in front of them. Aiden Neat has to skip out. He has to come out back behind him. So Kamara's going to hold it. He's got one last chance, but he's not close enough. He's done everything he possibly can, but once more, he will be denied. Rafael Kamara takes the checkered flag and wins just in front of Aiden Neate, who will have to wait again. Wirtz is in third, Browning is in fourth from Ho and Inter-Bubazak. How close could that have been?
What an incredible final lap that was there. Unfortunate for Aiden Neate. That contact through turn one certainly unsettled the car, and that's pushed him back, unfortunately. But a well-deserved victory there for Rafael Kamara. He fought tooth and nail all the way down to the very last corner. Through turn 14, it could have gone completely pear-shaped as well, which caused both of them to go off. But a fantastic finish and a well-deserved victory for Rafael Kamara. Aiden Neate will be second, and Charlie Wirtz will round out the top three. So it'll be Prema Racing and Abu Dhabi by Racing by Prema, all on the top step of the podium. 1, 2, 3.
My goodness me, that was an extraordinary final lap. It's always going to be a little bit tense between teammates. There's no two ways about that. Prema lock out the podium again, but the talking point down in pit lane is going to be Kamara versus Neate. I hope they're still on speaking terms when they get back to pit lane. It's
going to be a very interesting deal. I can't imagine that. Hey, you pushed me off. No, you pushed me off. You got into me. No, you got into me. I'm first. You're first. It's going to be quite an interesting team dinner as well, I could imagine. Charlie Wirtz is probably going to think, hey, I mean, I came third. I'm still the championship leader. Aiden Neate did claw back some points, but for Charlie Wirtz, that third position is going to extend his lead in the championship, which he is going to absolutely love here.
Well, thank goodness I've got a bottle of water beside me, otherwise I wouldn't have any vocal cords left. Rafael Kamara, Aiden Neate from Charlie Wirtz and Luke Browning, then Ho, Inter-Vuvazak, Bedrin and Dunn, Stenshon and Antonelli in the top 10. Then Rinicella and Zanfari, Dominguez and Escotto, Badua, Bora, Ryabov and Sohail Shah. What an amazing race that was. Absolutely astonishing. In 19th place, it is Jamie Day in front of Jonas Reed and Anshul Gandhi. Then Robert Dehaan. Joseph Loke is in 23rd in front of Jem Birombakti. Yash Aradja doing a great job in front of Jeff Makiels and Ismail Ahmed. And then we had retirements. Well, Victoria Blokina did come home at the end, but Taylor Barnard was out, and so too were Miron Pingazov and Michael Shin, who ended up off the racetrack in the very first lap. Wowee, that was absolutely sensational and great racing all the way to the end. That had all of the same ingredients that we had from Yas Marina Race 1. Teammates battling for the death, and Aiden Neate so close, but Rafael Kamara, vamos! He's done it again. A second race win this weekend for Rafael Kamara, and a great job from the Brazilian. So he continues on his epic rise through F4 UAE, and the points are coming his way. What a battle, what commitment into turn one. Banging wheels with his teammate, but still giving him enough room to race. That's class, that's world class. There's Charlie Wirtz, third position, in behind Aiden Neate. Good points from the team. Excellent stuff. Well, the F4 cars will be put away. They'll be set up again, ready for later. Let's go over the highlights of a truly sensational race. So right from the start, when a little bit of wheel spin caught Aiden Neate out, we had the pole sitter, Rafael Kamara, going with Luke Browning. An excellent battle. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't to last long, despite the fact that they were able to dice very closely in through the first couple of corners. Couple of lockups from Luke Browning, and Charlie Wirtz definitely caught a few of the drivers out and bunched up the field. And by the time they came through turn 3 and 4, we realised something was going to happen as Michael Shin got spat out into the side of Miron Pingazov. Nothing he could have done about it, and Miron Pingazov had to walk away. So the race restarted, and it was Rafael Kamara's to command from there on out, but Charlie Wirtz and Aiden Neate had other ideas when it came to battling with Luke Browning. Browning did his best to hold them off, but first Aiden Neate and then Charlie Wirtz made their presence felt as they duelled away for position. Christian Ho was mighty in his third car race in the F4 UAE Championship. Did an amazing job to battle his way through. Antonelli had some good duels with Nikita Bedrin and Suleiman Zanfari. Valerio Rinicella not quite able to run with the pack in the way he wanted to. But round the outside, what a move from Charlie Wirtz. That's what got him into fourth position, which would eventually give him a chance at the podium. Zanfari, great racecraft. Good to see him mixing it up with Antonelli as he battled away for position. Antonelli would have to fight back, but Zanfari was not going to be pushed around. Was great racing between those two. Then Taylor Barnard having a little bit of a moment or two with one of the 3Y cars. We think that was Martinius Stenshorn. Barnard would be out. Browning would lose ground to Wirtz. But then Aidan Neate suddenly appeared in front of his teammate Rafael Kamara, having caught and passed him. But Rafael Kamara left enough in the tank to battle. This was the move. Banging of wheels. And somehow they both kept going. Just amazing. That's as close as it gets. Aidan Neate tried his best to hang it out there with Rafael Kamara, but unfortunately the yellow flags meant he couldn't really go for the overtake. He had to bail out of it. So Rafael Kamara takes the win for the second time. Aidan Neate will have to try again. Charlie Wirtz in third. A clean sweep for Prema. So back with live pictures. We are told that the incident between Taylor Barnard and Nikita Bedrin is going to be investigated after the race. So even worse, the battle is going to be between the two teammates in the steward's office later. So that's rather unfortunate. As the drivers continue to battle away, getting ourselves ready for the endurance race a little bit later on. That will be coming up next via the Golf Radical Cup page. You'll definitely want to keep an eye out on that because the racing was excellent earlier in the weekend. And I have a feeling it'll be great in that race a little bit later on as well. That'll give you a sneak preview of what to expect. So the drivers have done an absolutely fantastic job in the F4 UAE Championship. It is a Prema 1-2-3, but not for the want of a very intense and exciting battle between Rafael Kamara and Aidan Neate, who banged wheels in their attempt to mix it with each other. Charlie Wirtz, solid, smooth and consistent as ever. He's never going to be out of the points the way this season is going. And he is still making some great waves out there on the circuit. And at the moment, Charlie Wirtz is now up to 142 points if it stays like this. Aidan Neate is on 130. Townsend de Vivazak is on 118. James Wharton on 110, who's not racing this weekend. Antonelli is up to 5th place now on 96. Nikita Bedrin is on 93. And Rafael Kamara, with his second win of the season, is up to 7th in the standings on 79. So a very interesting battle. But the main headline is that Aidan Neate has now closed the championship gap down to just 12 points between himself and the championship leader, Charlie Wirtz. So it will definitely make the racing very interesting come the latter stages of the day. And we are definitely going to be in for an excellent race 4 later today, because, of course, it's going to be a reverse grid from the top 12 of this race. And that means that pole position for the last race of the day is going to be Suleiman Zanfari. He will be in pole position. And then Valerio Rinicella will be alongside him on the grid. And look who's going to be 3rd position on the starting grid for the last race of the day. Andrea Kimi Antonelli. So for the Prema team, it's a storm of the podium. 3rd place for Charlie Wirtz. He continues scoring good points. Aidan Neate closes in a little bit in 2nd place. But Rafael Kamara, the Brazilian, will take his 2nd win of the weekend, his 2nd win of the season. What a great battle it's been. And Prema are once again on the podium, and they lock it out. So a fantastic performance from the competitors in the F4 UAE Championship, and a great victory for the Brazilian Rafael Kamara. There is more to come where that came from. The 4th and final race of the weekend will see the reverse grid race. Rafael Kamara will have to do it all again from P12 on the grid. Aidan Neate from P11 and Charlie Wirtz from P10. We'll see what they can do. Can any of them catch the likes of Zanfari, Rinicella, Antonelli and Stenshorn, who'll be on the first 2 rows of the grid in race 4. Thanks for watching. I'm Jake Sanson. With me was Chris Milbourne. We'll be back for race 4 later this afternoon.